Okay. Well, we shall get started then. Compliance with the Open Public Meetings Law. I wish to state that on June the 6th, 2014, a notice of this meeting of the Upper Township Committee was posted on the official Township Bulletin Board, mailed to the Cape May County Gazette, the Atlantic City Press, the Ocean City Sentinel Ledger, and the Herald Times, and filed with the Township Clerk. Tonight's meeting is being video recorded up until the closed session portion of this meeting, and will be available on UTTV Channel 97 and on the Upper Township website. I hereby direct that this announcement made a part of the minutes of this meeting. I'd also all rise for the salute to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Barbara, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Here.
Mr. Coggins?
Here.
Mr. Sarah?
Here.
Mr. Young?
Here.
Mr. Palumbo?
Here.
All members are present.
Okay. Would someone like to make a motion to approve the minutes for May 27th regular and closed session meeting?
Second.
Is there any corrections, omissions, deletions that anyone's aware of? Okay, hearing none, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Sarah?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried.
Okay, so at this time, we'll reach out. Barbara, do you have anything for us this evening?
Nothing to report this evening, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Daniel?
Nothing at this time, but we have a number of items for closed session, contract negotiation, personnel, and litigation.
Okay. Paul?
Thank you. Just wanted to report that Friday, the Upper Township Green Team submitted for the Sustainable Jersey certification. We accumulated enough points for the different activities between the Green Team and what the Township does to submit for the Bronze certification, which is their entry-level certification. There'll be a review process, and then hopefully by September, we'll find out if we've completed certification. And that's all I had.
Okay. Barbara?
Nothing this evening, Mr. Mayor.
We're moving right along. Mr. Coggins?
Tonight we will be voting on 3 items that will be introducing some revenue into our budget. It was not originally there, so we will be accepting a grant for $172,000 for continuation of paving of Baby Rabbit and Stratford, $32,000 for the Clean Communities Project, and we will also be releasing the remainder of the bond held on the Greendale Drive development.
Okay. Anything else?
Nothing else.
Okay. Mr. Young?
Yes, we moving along with the 4th of July celebration. Things are coming together pretty well on that. We had the stairs fixed at the at the Friendship School. That's been taken care of by Lord Jones. And he's also looking at getting the flower pots for the train station and finishing up the list that they had. Other than that, we're meeting Wednesday night, 7:30 here for the 4th of July committee again. So anybody that's out there would like to come, you're more welcome to come.
And I understand, Mr. Barr, you're working with OEM director to come up with what? Plan? Emergency plan towards it. Okay. All right, and please keep Mr. Young in the loop with that, as I'm sure you are, with as well as obviously the fire departments and the rescue squad. So. Anything else? Mr. and Sarah?
I am not this time.
Okay. Mr. Barr?
Just to reiterate what we just talked about, we had a chief's meeting, whatever operations planning for issues for the July event, along with OU also in attendance, so we're ironing that out. Looks like we're going to have a nice event.
Good.
That's it.
I just have a few things quickly. I actually had the opportunity, the great opportunity, to be a mystery reader today for a first grade and second grade class. I'll tell you, if the school reaches out to you to do it, it's a lot of fun. Kids asked a lot of questions. It was a book that was entitled What I Plan to Do for My Summer Vacation, and I really enjoy doing that. It's one of the fun things of doing what we all do up here. You know, every once in a while I have a chance to get back to the kids in the community, so that was great. Also, I received an email today that I just talked to Paul about, and also our OEM director. FEMA has increased some allotment of money that will be available for pre-disaster mitigation, which I think we've applied for some grants, and we certainly can anticipate doing that in more detail now. They extended, well, the amount has increased to $63 million. That'll be available in funds that previously was $23 million, so that's a $40 million increase of available funds that we may be able to utilize for some of the things that we're trying to work on. I think the Strathmere Fire Company, we're trying to mitigate and get a generator over there and do some things of that nature, so hopefully that will help with that. So more to follow on that. And then the other thing is talking with our OEM director, we have put in this code red system that's taking the place of the 911 reverse dispatch, or whatever we call it, where we have an opportunity to tell our residents when there's some weather coming or some kind of hazardous situation, or hopefully never anything more than that. But and anyway, it's an information resource, and in order to test all the phone numbers that we have in place, sometime at the end of the month, we will be doing a test, basically, to all the residents whose numbers are listed in the current system. And then what we'd like to do at that point is if we'll make everyone aware when that test will take place, and it also includes all the residents of Strathmere. I mean, it's really grouped in a much different aspect than what we had with the reverse 911. And in fact, we pretty much can dial out to every resident and get to them within a very minimal amount of time before it kind of progressed down the line to call people. Now it will be very quickly done. So those who don't receive the call, we certainly need to make sure that they register, whether it's through their cell phone or their home phone, so that they have access to that information that we can make available in time of an emergency. So more to follow on that. Probably we'll make the final announcement on the next meeting. Is that June 23rd?
Yes.
As to the exact date, Scott anticipates it to be closer to the end of the month. And basically it'll be a scripted thing saying, this is, if it's me or him or whatever, a test, if this were a real emergency, what you would hear normally on TV at 2 o'clock in the morning when this is a test, and so it'll be something that'll be scripted that certainly won't alarm anybody. But in order to ensure that we have everything the way it's supposed to be, we need to do a whole township-wide test on it, so we'll be doing that. I just want to make people aware of it and start getting that information out that this will be coming. So that's all I have for this evening, and I would suggest, if you would, Barbara, to move on to the resolutions.
Item number 1, honoring Rosemary Bonner on the occasion of her retirement as municipal court administrator of the Township of Upper.
Move the resolution. Second.
Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Poggins?
Yes.
Mr. Insera?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 2, honoring Jason Armbruster for his selfless act of heroism.
Move the resolution. Second.
And a number of the resolutions that are coming up will be addressing both construction workers and those in the Memorial Fire Company that aided in the rescue of that accident that occurred a couple weeks ago where the dump truck went off of the Parkway Bridge. So,
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Insera?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 3, honoring Aaron Grace for his selfless act of heroism.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Let's call the roll.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Insera?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 4, honoring Deputy Chief Jeffrey McIntyre of the Marmora Volunteer Fire Company for his bravery and heroism.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Insera?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 5, honoring Captain DJ Young of the Marmora Volunteer Fire Company for his bravery and heroism.
Move the resolution. Second.
Please call the roll.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Insera?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Colombo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 6, honoring firefighter Matthew Long of the Marmora Volunteer Fire Company for his bravery and heroism.
Move the resolution. Second.
Please call the roll.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Insera?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Colombo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 7, honoring firefighter Mark Newman of the Marmora Volunteer Fire Company for his bravery and heroism.
Move the resolution.
And the second? On the tie here?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Insera?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried.
Thank you all. And just to reiterate, obviously, there was a definite act of heroism. Had both the construction workers and the fire first responders that were on the scene not been there and really taken an active stance by jumping into the water and breaking the window and ultimately freeing that gentleman, he certainly would have drowned because that vehicle was underwater and there was no way of getting him out. Had the construction workers not been there, it would have really been an unfortunate situation. So they're all to be congratulated, and I'm sure that the gentleman whose life they saved is most appreciative. So it's fitting that we honor them this evening. So.
Item number 8, congratulating the Ocean City High School JV8 Boys Crew Team on becoming the 2014 Scholastic Rowing Association of America Regatta Champions.
Move the resolution.
Second.
And this is a great accomplishment. I know Mr. Coggins' son was involved with crew as my two boys were, and to win this is not only great notoriety, it's not easy to win, so that's a great accomplishment that they did there.
And we're bringing individual kids from the township.
I think what we would like to do is maybe we can ask them to all attend the meeting and we can
Yes.
honor them.
We have to coordinate times when they can
Quite a few of the
attend.
kids from the township
Yep.
that were on that.
Well,
Now, I mean, that's a big thing. If you're involved with crew, that's comparable to winning Dad Bills and IRA in the collegiate world, so very big.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Insera?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 9, appointment of Kay Parton, Scatchart, and Joseph F. Bentley, Esquire, to act as special legal counsel in employment and labor law matters.
Move the resolution.
Second, and Dan, this is just a continuation of an existing contract?
Yes, it's a special legal counsel for labor and employment.
Okay.
Mr. Barr?
Anybody-
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Insera?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 10, appointing George Karpinski and Timothy Longnecker as part-time employees to the Upper Township Division of Emergency Medical Services.
Move the resolution. Second.
Again, this memorializes what we talked about last meeting, and this does not in any way increase any hourly wage with respect to employment.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Insera?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 11, appointing the 2014 season beach patrol personnel.
Move the resolution.
Second.
And again, this memorializes last meeting. It's 3 additional men that we failed to put on the resolution at the last meeting. So would you call
It's
the roll,
actually
please?
5, I'm sorry.
There's 5. Well, yeah,
We
I
had it
want
in the
Okay,
resolution.
let's do that first, and then I actually want to bring something up to the committee.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Insera?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried.
Real quick, I meant to bring it up when we were talking earlier. We are going to have tryouts for the rookie guards next Saturday. And the problem that we're faced with, normally we would not officially hire individuals until the next scheduled Township Committee meeting. Problem with that is if we wait an additional week, we will find ourselves short for help for the July 4th weekend. And so what I'd like to have is some latitude in possibly, and Dan, I don't know how we best can do this, those rookie guards go through a testing process, they go through an interview process, and then basically the captain and the lieutenants make recommendations on, who they would recommend being hired. I guess what I'm asking is there any way to allow these new guards to start to go through the rookie camp, which takes a week of training, so that they're ready for July 4th? Because of the timing of the next meeting, it really presents a problem for the guards.
In the past, we have allowed, I think, the lifeguard chief to make the hire subject to ultimate resolution appointing them from the township committee. So you would need a motion to that effect. Barbara and I think we have had no problem with that.
That's correct.
We followed up with the pre-employment testing.
We did, but I just wanted to bring it before everybody else and not assume that it was okay to do it again this year.
And we will
We
have
have
a
new members on the
resolution.
committee that, I think, I wanted to make sure
you get a
that there's transparency as to what the process is for hiring the guards.
Well, I would suggest that there be a motion to that effect and a second and a vote, just so that the authority is delegated.
I'll make the motion. Second.
Is there any discussion? Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Insera?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes,
Motion is
thank
carried.
you. Let's move on.
Item number 12, there's one typo on this. Block 601.01 is listed as 19 on the agenda. It should be listed as 9. Authorizing a notice of violation and abatement of nuisance for Block 449, Lot 5, Block 601.01, Lot 9, Block 449, Lot 5, Block 26, Lot 1, Block 455, Lot 16, Block 455, Lot 33, Block 474, Lot 1.01, Block 348, Lot 27, Block 730, Lot 21, Block 569, Lot 24, Block 303, Lots 1, 2, 22, and 23, pursuant to the Township Code, Section 11-1.
What this is the zoning officer has identified numerous properties that have a nuisance violation potentially and obnoxious growth. And the Township Committee under the ordinance is authorized to enforce the removal of that with a specified notice from the zoning officer. I believe it's 10 days. And then if it's not rectified, this authorizes the township to correct the obnoxious growth, go in, Public Works would clear it out, and the cost would then be charged back against their tax bill.
It's that time of year.
Yeah, that's the problem. We're trying to streamline it somewhat. That's why you see all these lots on here, trying to get ahead of the curve.
Yeah, we had, this, because of last year, that's why we got the list. Last year, we talked about it.
We have a question. Is it not possible for the code official to go out and do this without the approval of the committee?
They can cite them, but it would be a violation under the Boca Code, which would go to municipal court. This is to give the township the authority that if it's not rectified, our Public Works can go out and clear their lot. This is needed for that. There's two different laws that could go under. And this doesn't get to our desk, or your desk, for vote until after the zoning officer has attempted to get them to do it without this authority. And now the formal notice of violation would go out.
Okay.
All right, so you're looking for a
A lot of these
motion?
properties are foreclosure properties, by the way.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Insera?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 13, authorizing the Upper Township Tax Collector to extend the third quarter grace period.
Move the resolution.
Second. And Dan, this is something that's statutorily allowed to
Yes,
do?
it's to allow because of the lateness of the bills, the late payment without interest.
Mr.
All right,
Barr?
would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Insera?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 5, Chapter 159, resolution for the insertion of a special item of revenue into the 2014 budget that was not determined at the time of the adoption of the budget. State of New Jersey Department of Transportation, 2014 Municipal Aid Program, for the reconstruction of Bayview Drive Phase 2 in the amount of $172,000.
Move the resolution. Second.
Okay, and this is something that Mr. Coggins had talked about earlier in the meeting. We were fortunate to get a grant for $172,000 to help with the reconstruction of Bayview Drive. Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Insera?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 15, Chapter 159 resolution for the insertion of a special item of revenue into the 2014 budget that was not determined at the time of the adoption of the budget, State of New Jersey, 2014 Clean Communities Grant in the amount of $32,099.13.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Again, this is an additional grant that we've applied for, as Mr. Coggins had so duly noted. So this is good news, and we're looking to you, Paul, and the rest of the staff to continue to come up with these grants for us. Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Insera?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 16, authorizing the release of the remaining cash bond and escrow funds to the Township of Upper in the settlement of the claim against Penn National Insurance Company, surety bond number SB0331362, with respect to Melvin Development LLC principal regarding that subdivision known as Greendale Drive, Block 646, Lot 17.02, in the Township of Upper, Cape May County, New Jersey.
Move the resolution.
And Dan or
This
Paul,
is
anything?
a bond that was pulled because the developer didn't finish the work. We did settle with the insurance company, we received the funds. This is more of an accounting resolution to have the cash portion of the bond and the escrow fees transferred to the township, which was part of the settlement with the bonding company.
We did the paving work as part of the township paving project, so we were able to, put it with a larger project, so we were able to save money and get economies of scale, and the contractor completed the work last month, and now we can release those remaining funds to the...
Okay. Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Insera?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 17 under ordinances, public hearing and final adoption of ordinance number 10, 2014, an ordinance authorizing a special emergency appropriation pursuant to NJSA 40A 4-53 for the preparation of an approved tax map.
Before, no, wait.
It's
Before I open
final
up
hearing.
the public hearing, is there any other comments for the Township Committee? This ordinance actually is something the Township Committee had discussed. It's an emergency appropriation to be able to complete tax maps as required by the state. So in order for us to move forward with our proposed tax reevaluation that has been county mandated. So these are things that the state says that need to be completed, and that's the reason why we're discussing this ordinance this evening. So if there's anyone from the public that would like to address it, now's the time to do it. Okay. Hearing quiet and let the record reflect that there was no public comment. I'll close the public portion of the public hearing and entertain a motion for adoption.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Okay, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Insera?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 18 under new business, due to another commitment, the conflict attorney, Norman Briggs, could not be here this evening, and he has requested that this item be tabled to the June 23rd meeting.
He was asked to handle this matter because I have a conflict. I represented for many years a relative of the applicant.
Okay. Okay, so we'll put that as, I guess we can continue to call it new business because we haven't addressed it yet, so we'll agendize it under that.
Okay, item number 19, Dan Williamson requests to place temporary trailer at 415, your agenda says 424, this was another typo, I'm sorry, at 415 Route 49 Tuckahoe during the reconstruction of his home.
Yeah, and I asked to have this put on the agenda. I talked to Mr. Williamson, and basically what he's looking to do is have a trailer. For those of you that don't know, they had a fire at their house that caused some substantial damage. They're looking, the zoning ordinance allows to have a trailer in place based on zoning board approval. And the zoning board meeting is not for another week and a half. And really, the time is becoming critical for them.
It's the 12th.
Well, I think the reason is that it would come back to the township committee after the zoning board
Right.
meeting on
Their
Wednesday.
meeting, I believe, is this Thursday.
Okay, so it's this Thursday, but the timeframe fell into play that it had to come back to the township committee, correct? Which would have been an additional 2 weeks from today. So, I talked to Mr. Williamson, I talked to Shelley in the zoning office, and I think that there's enough opportunity here to consider this as a township committee this evening, with the idea that if the zoning board approves it on Wednesday, that we'll be one step ahead of the game here, and it would help to delay some of the time. So I wasn't sure if anybody had any questions. There, attached is, the application that was put into place, and, I conferred with Dan on this, and that's why I'm bringing it before the township committee for consideration.
I had two questions, actually. Paul, maybe you can help me out with this one. In terms of handling sanitation, would they be using the existing septic on the property?
Typically, they tie it into the existing septic, yes.
They have to get approvals for that as well. The ordinance, essentially, we don't have this happen that often, and it is a situation usually where there's been a fire and someone wants to reconstruct and live on the property as they reconstruct. But years ago, this ordinance was put in place, and what it does is it allows them to do that. There's twofold approval process. The ordinance says the township committee can issue the permit upon the recommendation of the zoning board, and that gives standards for the zoning board to consider. Because of the emergent circumstances that they don't have a place to live, I think that's why Rich brought it to you tonight. My suggestion was if you wanted to do that, although it is prior to the recommendation of the planning board, it would be subject to the recommendation and any requirements of the zoning board. It would be subject to the approval and recommendation of the zoning board and any requirements they have, and that if and when that recommendation comes through later this week, you would direct the township clerk to issue the permit, also subject to the ordinance, which has the county health requirements in it that you just asked about.
The only other question I had is there a time limit on this? I didn't see.
It says a year,
The statute, the ordinance says 1 year from when
but
it's
it's my
approved.
understanding, based on the conversation, I don't think they anticipate it going that long, but that's what's in place in the ordinance, right?
Okay, so there is a sunset.
Well, let me be real clear about this. The township committee decides how long, up to a year. And we have had, and upon recommendation of the Board of Adjustment for good cause shown, it can be extended for a second year. We have had instances years ago, I believe I was the zoning board solicitor at the time, where the construction did drag out, and there was some concern, and they were cited, and people had to come back in, and were given a second deadline. But there is a mechanism in the ordinance for timing, and the permit, I assume it would be in your motion, it would be not to exceed a year, because that's the amount of time you can give them.
All the questions I had.
Excuse me? If no one else has any other questions, it's okay.
Yeah, it's clear. I mean, Dan is a builder, and I'm sure he's going to get on top of it right away and expedite the process, but this is an emergency situation.
And I agree, and Mr. Williams is back here, he came in case we have any questions, but based on my conversation with him, I felt very comfortable bringing it before the township committee, so.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay.
Second.
Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Nocera? Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Item number 20, George and Joshua Ludlam requests a reconfiguration of Martintown Road.
Can we speak on this? George and Josh called me up to look at this. This is where Martintown Road comes into, is it Washington
Woodbine.
Avenue? Woodbine.
Woodbine Boulevard.
Morgantown Road's a long straightaway, and they're having a lot of problems with people running that stop sign and flying and drag racing up and down the street. So we requested either a configuration of that intersection, put a jog in it so they can't come straight through, or possibly speed bumps. I know we contacted Paul about it, he contacted me about it. I know myself, I've had some close calls there, but they just come through there and that's on a curve, and it's a long area right there too. So the request, there's a lot of young families that are just trying to buy up the ranch. And a lot of them do something to slow it down. That's basically what it is. Either reconfiguration or speed bump. They'd be happy with either one.
Well, what's the most cost effective? Speed
Well,
bumps or?
speed humps are very inexpensive compared to cost of a survey and then ultimately having to go out and reconstruct the road and the intersection, so.
It runs into a county road, so it also brings the county in play to do the reconfiguration. Right?
Correct. So, I mean, we could put 1 or 2 speed humps out there and, you know, I mean, and the people that are speeding are people heading from Upper Township into Woodbine and back and forth. So it's through traffic, and that is one of the criteria that we look at is, would we approve a speed hump or not, is it a road that experiences a significant amount of through traffic, and that road does.
So would you recommend 1 or 2, or you'd like to look at it in more detail?
Most likely 2.
Is it like the same situation as Perry Road?
Yes, yes,
Same situation with the court also.
yes.
Perry Road, we have 2 out there.
We have 2 out there.
Except for, Perry's at least has some curves to slow them down. This is a straight shot right in the woodline, so it's,
And it's a 2 street.
yeah. So myself, I think 2 would be 4 out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it sounds like it's something that would help to alleviate the problem, so,
Traffic safety and, make a motion to approve the speed bumps.
Second.
okay, any further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Sarah?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried.
Paul, do you have a general time frame, some kind of idea? I know
That'll be really up to Public Works to put it in their timeframe. I know they still have to install 2 out on Luke Court. We still have Luke Court to do, so, you know, it'll be during the summertime.
Okay, just,
I'll talk to Roy Warren and see if he can.
Yeah, remind him of Luke Court too, so 2 roads now, so. Okay, would someone like to make a motion to pay the bills?
I hereby move that all claims submitted for payment at this meeting be approved and then incorporated in the full list.
Second, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Sarah?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried.
There are a number of reports from the municipal departments: construction code, clerk's office, tax collector, tax assessor, finance, MUA report, EMS report, and the JIF final report of Upper Township's 2004 property appraisals. All of those will be available upon request of the Township Clerk's office tomorrow morning. But in the meantime, I'd like to make a motion to accept these department reports. Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Sarah?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried.
Okay, so at this time, we're moving through this agenda pretty well this evening. We've reached the public portion, comment portion of the meeting. So would anyone like to address the Township Committee at this time? Yes.
Ted Kingston, Strathmere. I don't have my question fully thought out here, but I guess what I'm wondering, with all these projects coming up in Strathmere, I know it's unclear to me what you have grants for, what there's money for, what's going to happen. And I know there's questions from other people in Strathmere too. And I guess the concern is some of the ideas floating out there. Like one question off the top of my head is, if you're going to raise Bayview Drive, are there going to be new storm drains? And, you know, there's been some people asking about possibly, you know, you said there's more grant money available. There's been people asking about a pumping station. And I guess all I'm looking for is some kind of dialogue to understand what you're going to do and kind of reconcile that with some of the ideas out there. I mean, once you pave Bayview Drive, you know, it excludes a lot of the ideas that.
I'm in the process of making the designs for the reconstruction of Bayview Drive. My anticipation is once I have a design, I would reach out to some of the residents in Strathmere and probably set up a town meeting and kind of show the design. And then if the residents have questions, we can, you know, before we put the project out to, you know, as a final design to bid the project, but, you know, have some discussion, you know, and let the residents take a look at it.
You know what, Paul, we did that, last year, you and I, we had
Yes.
a meeting in Strathmere, and maybe that's something that we should, you know, try and focus on, you know, maybe in August or something, to give you an idea of beach replenishment and update on that, the boat ramp, reconstruction that's gonna take place, the Bayview Drive, and anything else that, you know, may be pertinent, you know, maybe we can set up. And if we advertise it, basically, you know, we could have a number of us go there. I mean, we're not going to vote on anything for the township, but we certainly can be there, you know, for an hour or two, like we've done in the past, and have an opportunity to, you know, just give updates to everybody.
I mean, one idea off the top of my head is you saying additional grant money might be available for FEMA. Is it conceivable for bulkhead reconstruction
Well, that was,
along the bay?
we'd already submitted for those grants as part of the Sandy hazard mitigation grants. I don't think we received any, but we'll follow through and kind of retool those same grants to that same program.
Yeah, I mean, this has just been announced. I mean, what I got was an email through the congressman's staff today. He actually sent it to my work email, you know, so I made sure that I forwarded it to Paul and actually OOEM director and brought it this evening. You know, I mean, that's a substantial increase in the amount of funds that's available, and we hope to be able to take advantage of it.
So, I mean, you have funds for the boat ramp and then funds for Bayview Drive?
Those are already secured, as well as, obviously, we've all talked about the Army Corps funding, you know, 100% of the beach replenishment. So those things are in place. We've been working on the generator for Strathmere Fire Company to replace that through this, and then, you know, certainly there might be opportunities for other projects as well.
Yeah, I guess, you know what I'm saying, I'm just trying to get, like, that all the ideas are heard before the plans are finalized and construction starts on.
I had anticipated being able to show the plans to the residents over there so that, you know, they get an understanding of what's going to happen on the road before it's out, so just to make sure they answer all the questions.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Okay.
Wait a minute, we need you to come up and give your name and address, only because we're filming the meeting, so.
Robert Dunn Jr., address 224 Marshallville Road, Tuckahoe, New Jersey, 08270. Okay, about the Martintown thing, we just talked about, you put the speed humps for at the end of the intersection there. It might be a good idea also to look into the reconfiguration as well, especially how the county has to put the pit tap, because it's also a safety issue when you come into that road. You got there's a blind bend there coming around Woodbine Road, coming out of Woodbine, and you come up to it, and if you're not on the right angle, if you jog the road like it was originally said, your vehicle will be facing, you'll be able to see the directions you're going. I mean, just something to consider for the future.
And I think that will be a part of it as well. I mean, if we make those improvements, we'll certainly, you know, speak to the county. I think what we're trying to accomplish this evening is at least, you know, some sort of a fix at this point that we have control over, and you know, your recommendation will certainly, you know, be something that we'll certainly, you know, take and move forward with and contact the county.
Yeah, all right, thanks.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Anyone else? Well, we appreciate you attending this evening. So at this time, we'll close the public portion of the meeting, and I'll call on Mr. Coggins to make an announcement so that we can go into executive session.
I hereby move that a resolution be incorporated into the minutes authorizing the Township Committee to enter into an executive session for the following matters pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act. The matters are contract negotiations for Jersey Web Design, Louis Bonato, digital tax maps, and building maintenance. Contract negotiation for shared services with Woodbine for a radar vehicle, litigation with Upper Township versus Yankee Sansone, and personnel matters. I also included in my motion the estimated time and the circumstances under which the discussion conducted in closed session can be disclosed to the public as follows. It is anticipated that the matters discussed in closed session may be disclosed to the public upon the determination of the Township Committee that the public interest will no longer be served by such confidentiality. With respect to employment and personnel matters, such discussions will be made public if and when formal action is taken or when the individuals involved consent that it can be made public. With respect to contract negotiations, such matters will be made public when negotiations have ceased and there is no longer a reason for confidentiality. With respect to litigation matters, such discussions will be made public when litigation is complete and the applicable appeal period has expired.
Second. Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Farr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Sarah?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried.
I want to wish you all a good evening. Safe ride home.